So one team I've wanted to double back on and talk about after talking about them last month is the LA Clippers. And with the team winning their fourth straight game last night, I think it's time we talk about why this Clippers team should be one of the favorites to win the Western Conference in the 2024 playoffs. If you guys enjoyed the video though, then make sure to give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. So last night, the LA Clippers took down the Portland Trail Blazers by a score of 132 to 127. While I would have preferred for the Clippers to win by more points than they did, only one of the Trail Blazers' last 7 games were decided by more than 10 points. So while the team is pretty terrible, they do at least compete and fight and have knocked off the Pacers and Cavs over that stretch as well. So I won't knock the Clippers too much because a win is still a win, obviously. Like mentioned though, the Clippers have won 4 in a row now, and while I do believe Paul George has been the Clippers' best player overall for the season, it looks like Kawhi is starting to return to the form we saw him in during the second half of last season, as he scored 30 points or more in 4 of the Clippers' last 7 games, and following last night's 34-point, 6 rebound, 5 assist, and 3 steal game, he's now scored 75 points over the previous 2 games for them, which is very impressive. Despite the Clippers' slow start to the season and horrible losing streak that they suffered prior to Westbrook moving to the bench after Harden's arrival in LA, the Clippers have the 3rd best point differential in the Western Conference, only trailing the Timberwolves and Thunder. And they also have the 6th best point differential in the league overall, as the Celtics, Magic, and Sixers in the East have outscored their opponents more than the Clippers have. However, let's look at the team's performance since Westbrook moved to the bench. Westbrook began to come off the bench for the Clippers in their win versus the Houston Rockets on November 17th. So looking from November 17th through today, the Clippers as a team have averaged the 6th best plus-minus rating in the entire NBA, really showing how efficient they've been as a team. They've also had the 3rd best winning percentage over said time span and have put up the 5th best defensive rating per game in the league since Westbrook came off the bench as well. Looking at the lineups who have played the most games together since November 17th, the Clippers come in first place with their 12 games played together. They also have had the 2nd best plus-minus rating in the league out of any of the top lineups over that span, only trailing the Milwaukee Bucks starting lineup. So only trailing a team in the conference opposite to yours sounds pretty good to me, especially with the fact that we assume the Bucks and Celtics are going to have to battle each other if they want to make it to the finals and face whoever comes out, especially if that's the Clippers. So I think the Clippers should only worry about teams in the West for the time being. Looking at just lineups in the West though, like the Clippers should be doing, let's start with the LA Clippers themselves. In 200 minutes played with the starting lineup that the Clippers have used since November 17th, which has been Harden, George, Leonard, Zubac, and Mann, the Clippers have had a tremendously good 13.1 net rating with those 5 guys on the court for them. Comparing to the Clippers' Western Conference foes, let's just take a look at the current top 6 seeded teams in the West currently. Let's start with the team holding the best record in the league, and that is the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves' current starting lineup has put up a 2.7 net rating in their 133 minutes together, so I don't think the Clippers should be too worried about them. Next up is the young and up-and-coming and also second-seeded OKC Thunder, who have the same exact net rating of 2.7 as the T-Wolves, except OKC's lineup has played 226 minutes together, so I don't expect them to be too much of a problem for the Clips in the playoffs. Now, let's talk about the 3rd-seeded Dallas Mavericks. They're currently dealing with injuries to Grant Williams and Kyrie, and prior to Kyrie getting hurt, they experimented with the lineup of Exum replacing the injured Grant Williams, which yielded an incredible 74.3 net rating opposed to the 0.25 net rating with Williams in the lineup. So I don't know which way they'll go with going forward, with Grant Williams being their 4th highest paid player, but if they kick Exum out of the lineup, then they probably stand no chance against the Clippers, and also with the fact that Exum has only played 22 minutes together with that lineup with him in it that has a 74.3 net rating, so we'd have to see a larger sample size first. Next up is the team the Clippers just beat on December 6th as the Clippers came back from down 15 points to win that game, and that team is the defending champion Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets lineup has been very efficient and tough this season, coming in with a plus 9.9 net rating. However, that lineup has played less minutes together and has a lower net rating than the Clippers' new starting 5. So the Nuggets will be a tough team for the Clippers to face in a series if they do face off, but the Clippers should be favored regardless as long as they're healthy in said series. The 5th seed is the Sacramento Kings, and their lineup has actually put up a slightly better net rating than the Clippers lineup has. However, the Kings lineup has played in less minutes together than the Clippers, and the Kings are definitely a team the Clippers can't sleep on, and while the Clippers have the veteran leadership and star power over the Kings, that might not matter much. So we'll see what happens if these two teams face off in the playoffs. And finally, let's look at the in-season tournament champions, the LA Lakers. Despite the Lakers having the best defensive rating in the league since November 17th, the Lakers' current starting lineup really hasn't been too efficient overall for the season. However, replacing Reddish and Prince with Reeves and Wood yielded good results in the 10 minutes that they played together for the Lakers, so I'm not sure why they haven't experimented more with that lineup, as they definitely could use some improving. And also the lineup with Reeves replacing Reddish has been more efficient than their current starting lineup, but neither lineup with Reeves or their current starting lineup have been better than the Clippers. So honestly, it seems if they're healthy, the Clippers should reign supreme as the Kings of LA if both teams face off in the playoffs. What I just said, though, kind of brings me to my last point, though, and that's simply that everything will most likely come down to health for the LA Clippers. Harden, PG, and Kawhi have all dealt with injuries in the playoffs in at least one of the postseasons over the past 3 playoffs, and if that doesn't show you just the kind of bad luck that the Clippers deal with, then I don't know what will, and you have to add Harden into that mix, as he wasn't even a member of the team until last month. So adding in his injury history doesn't make things better whatsoever for the Clippers. However, the Clippers have gone 9-3, have had the 3rd best winning percentage, and have had the 2nd best net rating of any starting 5 in the Western Conference playoffs. And with that said, they should be in prime position to make a deep postseason run, and in my eyes should be the favorites to win the Western Conference, barring any major trades made by teams in the West at the trade deadline, and also barring any injuries that may happen to the Clippers rotation players from now until June. Anyway, though, let me know in the comments what you think about the LA Clippers, any players, or any topics I talked about today. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.